All right, we're going to get started. Sorry, y'all. Technology is doing what it does. All right. Hi, Internet. How's it going? Welcome to our live stream. I'm here with Jamar Diggs of J Diggs Media, and I'm Kronda Adair of Carvel Digital. And we are going to talk about how to marry the magic of YouTube funnels and getting amazing organic leads through YouTube with marketing automation so that you actually nurture those leads so you can actually sell to those leads. So, Jamar, go ahead and introduce yourself, tell all the people what you do, and get us started.
Hello, everyone. As Kronda said, my name is Jamar Diggs. I'm the CEO of J Diggs Media, where we do YouTube management and YouTube strategy for online business owners who are looking to actually rank on YouTube and generate more problem-aware traffic to their offers. And we do all that with a very unique framework that we're going to talk about today called my YouTube funnel framework. Yes, honey, YouTube funnels. We're going to talk all about it today.
Awesome. So I want to dive right in because like people, because so let me just give a little background too, because how I found you, Jamar, is we both follow Topsy Vandenbosch, amazing coach. And so Topsy did a workshop and I signed up for the workshop and I couldn't go live. And so I was like, and she was like, look, this replay is only up for a limited time. So I'm like, let me go watch this replay. And I'm watching the replay and there you are all over the replay, you know, like being you and doing the thing. And I was like, who is this? And, you know, somebody said what you do. I was like, YouTube. I'm like, who is this? So I went and found you on Instagram. And so definitely, you should pop your Instagram link in the chat because I'll put that up too.
Okay.
So found you on Instagram and just was like, yeah, I need this. Cause one of the things that I have been preaching is that we need to stop obsessing about the algorithm and we need to get these long-term strategies popping so that, people can find you. And I'm famous for dropping links on people, right? Because I have all this content. I got blogs, I got podcasts, I have it all in the pot of gold, which, is our system for like organizing it. And like, those are things people can continue to find, like the half-life of a tweet or your Facebook reel or whatever, like it's here and it's gone. And we're so addicted to the speed and the likes and the whatever. And I'm like, let me get these other channels popping. Let me go back to blogs. Let me look at YouTube. Let me, and so it was a no-brainer to go and get a strategy from you. So do a little bit more of an introduction about like, what is it that you actually do for people and who do you do it for and let the people know?
Yeah, sure. So, like how you said before, right? Like, people are always initially always concerned about the algorithm, right? And a lot of that happens because we're getting our leads manually, right? There's a certain part in business to where you have to go beyond getting leads manually and start getting them in a more lead gen automated like way, right? Now, for me, that automated way starts out with like a search engine, right? So YouTube is the second largest search engine owned by the first largest search engine, which is Google, right? And so what we do is that we use YouTube SEO, we use the platform to start attracting pound-word people, right? So one of the first things that we do is get your channel categorized as a industry expert niche channel so that your videos can rank more. They can be suggested amongst other videos, as well as creating strategic types of content on YouTube that is going to be able to last for years and years and years, sending people down a customer buying journey a lot faster. Right. And so that's the YouTube funnel framework in like a nutshell, to where you're creating content for the long game. This is evergreen content that's going to last you for years. And so instead of you worrying about the algorithm and, oh my gosh, what reel is trending, what thing is working, you already know your clients right now. You know what their issues are. You know what they're searching for. You probably already know like how you can help them and what offer works best for them. So create content around that and get it to rank, get it to appear when people are searching for it right then and there.
Awesome. Okay, so talk to me about if someone's thinking about doing this, they're like, okay, screw the algorithm. let me get into this long form, let me get strategic. Talk to me about some of the mistakes that you see people making who are trying to DIY.
Yeah. So the intention around YouTube, right? A lot of us come from a community-based platform called like Instagram, and we think that whenever we do YouTube, right, we're thinking, yes, let's get onto long form content, but we start posting the wrong type of content. We like the easiest way for us to get adjusted to something like YouTube sometimes when we don't know any better is to do what we're already doing, but on a different platform, right? So a lot of times, like my client, like, well, not my clients, but people who are interested in YouTube will start posting videos about themselves, or they'll start like a series on YouTube that talks about like their journey and why they came over to YouTube. And it's like, girl, you here now. What are you doing on it now? You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to worry about that story of like why you're over here now. What are you doing to help the people now? Right. And so they don't really know what to do on you. So it's like kind of like that awkward phase of like, hey, I'm here. I'm trying to figure this out. So I'm just going to tell you about myself right now, right? I'm going to introduce myself, right? And the beauty about YouTube is that you don't have to do that because we're using the search engine, right? So people are not going to probably see that intro video or that trailer first. They're going to see the video that they're searching for and the video that you are giving the answers to, right? And so they're searching for how to do this or difference between this and that, right? And so they're not going to see that that video. They're not worried about that video about like how you got here. They're happy that
Yeah.
you.
And that brings up an important point that I want to highlight, which is the difference in like the mindset of people on the platforms, right? Because if you're doing something like Facebook ads, people are on Facebook and they're just scrolling and they're trying to check in on what their friends are doing and whatever. And then you're interrupting that and you're like, hey, do you have this problem? I have a solution. And they're like, I don't care about that right now because I'm scrolling. Whereas YouTube is search generated. And so they're literally on there trying to solve their problem, right? Like
Yes.
I went on YouTube today and I was like, how to blah, 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 right? And so I don't care where the answer comes from at first. I just care, is it the answer? Mm-hmm. And then if I get the answer and it's good and it works, then I might be like, oh, who was that? Let me go subscribe. Let me save their channel. Let me check out some of their other videos. Is that accurate?
That is 100% accurate. And I'm going to also add in, because a lot of people who are probably watching this, they're experts, like they know their shit and they probably sell their expertise, right? They sell what they know. So the thought of them saying how to do something in a YouTube video for free is like, what? That's so backwards. But but I want you to understand is that it's not really how to. Like what we do with our clients is we teach them how to use your video as a powerful marketing asset, right? So we're not trying to make a simple, basic how to do this step 1, 2, and 3 video. That how-to video is filled with your unique perspective, your unique frameworks, these things that people have to know to even want to work with you. Right. So it's not a basic how-to video. And quiet as it's kept, we don't tell our clients to do like on a how-to video to make it as literal as how to do this, right? It's more so around what do they need to get started? What is the process for that? But also think about the process as your unique frameworks and your unique way of thinking, right? Because that how-to video is really almost like a sleeper agent that is there to attract them because you got them, but now you're trying to get them to see things your way.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm always saying like you need to help people get the beliefs that they need to actually work with you. And so that's what you do in your strategy. And so when people come to work with you, like, tell us what that's like. You do a whole strategy for folks and like give us the breakdown of the process.
Yeah. So the breakdown, it's simple for the client, but it's a lot more stuff for me. so really, what we do is we meet for 90 minutes. Before that call, our clients do a questionnaire that allows me to kind of get my feet like, dipped into their world, like learning a little bit more about their target audiences, learning more about what they're selling, what are their goals, what is their audience looking like, what are like some of those pain points that they're dealing with. And then on the call, I'm digging deep, honey. I'm asking questions around like buyer behavior. How do they think about like other things in the industry? What are the things that are keeping them up at night? I'm digging deep into like the whole psychology of that person, because that's going to help me figure out a strategy that is going to align their pain points with the solution that you have to offer. And like, what is that journey that they go on in order to make that connection with you?
I can confirm that call is deep. That there is no stone left unturned. I was like, dang, okay, you're gonna make me work up in here.
Yes.
Okay, so then you have this call, you go away and you create a beautiful strategy. We got our strategy in Airtable, and I was just like, marry me now. Like, you give me something in Airtable. Please no Google Sheets. So we got the strategy, and then I was like, this is amazing. Like, I'm not about to do this myself. Like, who has the time? Right. So tell us about the next step in the process.
Yeah. So the next step after like the strategy is done, because like we do give you like a good strategy to where it's like the titles, the tags, the video descriptions, the thumbnail text, and the design direction. So like you could do it, you have everything you need to go out and be great. But sometimes people just want some more support. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they want some management in their life. And that is the next step, to where we take care of the whole process for you. It's a much more like hands-on like partnership with our clients, to where we have like the YouTube strategist, which is like me, and then a dedicated YouTube account manager. And we are giving you topics if we haven't given you them already. We are helping you. We're doing scripting support sessions to help our clients like create really, really good scripts. We're also editing the video and adding in motion graphics in it to make it highly engaging. And we're also scheduling it, posting it, and giving you a teaser to promote it out into the world as well. So it's full service YouTube management.
Yes, and when you say full service, like let me just reiterate, because literally I get like I have the strategy, you give the script outline, and I'm going to put up the link to your shop. So cuz Jamar, you do have the ready to rank YouTube shop, right?
Yeah.
So if you're on a DIY tip and you're like, "Oh, this is great, but I'm not there yet," right? Go to the shop, you can get this like how to script your video. You can get all those things, right? But so I got the scripting framework, and I was like, great, let me just put this into a ClickUp template, spin it up, like have all my things. You got your deadlines. They're very serious about these deadlines. I was like, if you thrive with accountability,
we will hold you accountable.
And so literally I just pop the script out and I fill in the framework, and I get, I have my opener, my hook, all the points that I'm going to talk about, and I make the video. Oh, and then another thing you didn't mention, but like they were like, hey, make a test video so we can make sure your sound is good, your lighting is good, your background isn't, like basic. Right. And so that was all good. And then I literally just show up and talk. And then the videos are like, 15 minutes max, right? Because you don't want to go too long. And so I show up, I make the video, I put it in Drive, and that's it. I'm done. Like, so if you're thinking like, oh, YouTube sounds great, but like it's too much work, like that is literally what Jamar is here for. And you can just show up and you can be the talent. So I just want to give you that shout out. So, okay. So I know you have a framework as far as like how to get people to click through and like actually go check out your stuff. Can you just give a quick synopsis of like, what is that framework?
Yeah. So it comes down to like the content, right? Well, so there's two things. It's the content and then the call to action. And so I'm going to first start out with what is the call to action like inside the videos, right? So what is that thing that you want to be a no-brainer next step after someone watches your video, right? Because it needs to be, and that thing needs to be aligned with your actual thing that you're trying to sell. right? So a lot of our clients have like master classes or workshops that work really well for them. It could be an ebook, a book as well. We have that for our clients too. But whatever it is that is going to be like that lead magnet that is going to allow you to automate your sales marketing, which we're going to get into in a minute, and sell them, you know what I'm saying, with you, Kronda, you know. But whatever is that no-brainer next step, right? But with that, we create a series of videos. And those videos, there's about 5 types of videos that should just rotate around your channel. And it's like the anchor video, which is like that how to frequently asked question type of video that someone's always asking people. Those things do really well to where they have a really high search volume, right? And so we title it in a way that allows us to stand out in the competition for that. That next video, the next type of video is the shifting perspectives video, right? And so this shifting perspective video is a video that is literally there to change people's mindset around whatever their issue is, right? Because this is like you working on them to where it's like, I know you think this is your problem, but what if you thought about it this way differently, right? So this could look like maybe like some mistakes that you're probably making, why something isn't the best choice for you, or something like that, something that shifts the perspective. The next video is a objection handling, and I'm not talking about sales objections, but it's more so what is that alternative that people always think about before like they're ready to go work with you, right? And so a lot of times it doesn't matter how well you sell things, how well your messaging is, there's always that little, but what if I just did this instead, right? Like, what if I could just do that? Right? Let's go ahead and take care of that now with this type of video, right? So those look more like this versus that, or like why this is the best choice, or something like that, right? I like to do those like verses, right? So whatever the thing that I am an advocate for versus the thing that they think is the answer. Right. Then the next video is a personal or core value video. And that video is more like a lessons learned video, right? So it kind of adds some more relatability to your channel, because right now we've just been telling people what to do, right? And so this type of video is really, really cool because you're able to talk about like your mistakes of like maybe that you've made in the past, show a little bit of yourself. I like to call this type of video like a show the people that like you walk so they can run, right? So show them like that kind of stuff, like give them like a story time kind of like esque type of video that makes it a little bit more relatable. And then finally, the last video is like case studies and client testimonials, right? So this is a really, really good one to where if you want to go live with a client, or you want to like talk about a success story that a client has, like, so how this client was able to go from this to that, right? Just a little case study. That video isn't meant to rank, but it's meant to nurture, right? It's meant to get that person to be like, oh shoot, I've been watching these other videos. I know you know your stuff, and now I get to see a client or have a story attached to that. Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe I will click that link now. Maybe I will sign up for that thing, right? And so those 5 videos together do so well at moving people through their thought process around whether or not they are ready to pull the trigger.
That is the gold right there. I hope y'all are taking notes. If you are watching the replay, comment #replay, ask your questions. Jamar is giving away the farm right now. And it's fine for him to do that, because if you go try to do this yourself, you're going to realize it's a lot and you're probably going to want some help. So, okay. So now I want to talk about what happens. Like, all of that is working, and then somebody takes your lead magnet and they sign up. So this is where we come in, we shift over, we come into my lane, right? Because our focus with CRM to sales is we are helping you create that automated marketing machine that's going to take your leads. And I have a really funny, I think I'm going to repost it again. I have, it was an Instagram reel that I did, I was so angry. So angry because it's like I watch people out here and they're like, well, I can't work with you yet because I'm working with my Facebook ad strategist, or I'm redoing my website, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. Like doing all this like time, effort, and money to go get leads. And they have no system on the back end to actually nurture those leads. Like you're gonna spend all this time and money to get these leads, and then like all the communication is just going to be like if you get to your weekly email that week. And I know I'm calling some of y'all out. It is with love because we want to help you. Okay. So you need to have a system on the back end. If you're going to do all that effort, you need to have a system on the back end to make sure you actually make the sales from the people who sign up to your email list. And so what I found is, I used to have content boot camp. I used to have InSource. We used to make websites. We used to do all these things. And last summer, what I found is, we thought people were out here like having some automation, right? And then I was like, but are they though? And I started doing audits. I was like, hey, give me your ActiveCampaign login. Let me see what's going on in there. And I would do these audits and there would be like one welcome email, maybe 2 or 3 welcome emails. And then that's it. Like just underutilizing the tool. And, ActiveCampaign is our tool of choice for this, for email marketing automation. And it is a very powerful tool. And what I was seeing, I liken to like if you bought like a DSLR camera and you got the long lens and you're like ready for your wildlife photography, whatever, and then you just put it on program and then you just snap your vacation photos. Like that's what it's like. So that we literally created this offer because we're like, okay, we thought people were like at a 5 out of 10, and it's like people are at 0, 1, 2, trying to get to 2 and 3 and 4. So the way that it works is I stopped doing the audits because I realized, you don't really need to pay me money for me to come in and tell you that your shit is jacked. Like, like you already know, right?
That's true.
So,
That's true.
It's true. I mean, I needed to do them to see what was going on. But then I was like, you know what? Let's just get in there and fix it. So there's 3 areas that we will do automation. We'll do marketing automation, sales automation, and onboarding automation. And I have to compliment you, Jamar, because your onboarding is very good. Like it's like your back end systems for serving your clients. Like, I know when my videos are due. I know what's going to happen if I don't get them to you on time. Like, we have our monthly check-in. We had a scripting session. Like, it's so good. And so there's usually one of those 3 areas where people are kind of hurting the most, right? Maybe it's your marketing and you just like, I got no follow-up. Like maybe it's sales where you're like, people are in the pipeline, but like I had the sales call and then we didn't follow up. So we didn't get the sale. So we pick one of those 3 areas. We say, okay, we're going to do a 90-day project and we're going to create this system. So one of those 3, either marketing or sales or onboarding. And so we create that system and we deploy it and people start running through it. And now you can start to see the benefits of, your team is now like spending less time doing all these manual tasks that you had them doing, and your leads. Like, so we launched, there's two things we launch if we're doing like a marketing engagement. We want everybody to have a welcome sequence and we want everybody to have a sales sequence. Like everybody goes through those 2 things. And so our first group of clients that went through, they now are starting to get those things set up. And I'm getting now these replies and these comments were like, oh, I was really worried about like my getting to know you was going to be like weird or spammy or creepy or whatever. And like, I'm getting all these nice replies from people. People like, oh, this is great. Like they're building relationships with this sequence, which is what it is supposed to do.
I love that.
And so you have that running and then you actually tell them about your offer. Right. So especially for people who like, I don't want to be too salesy, like it's like, great. Get the robot to do the sales. Like we help guide you through creating the emails and give you templates and all those good things. So you have this engine running. And then at the end of that 90 days, then we can reevaluate and can say, okay, is there another project, an area where you're hurting, where it makes sense to say like, okay, let's take care of your onboarding now, right? And make sure your client experience coming into your offer is really good. Or maybe you're good for a while and we want to go into like a maintenance mode. And so in the maintenance mode, that means you don't ever have to log into the tool because I know a lot of people are overwhelmed with the tech. A lot of people are like, I don't understand it. And so you just don't have to do it. You literally just log into your portal, send us a request and say, I want to send this email to these people, and we take care of it. And it
That is
seems
so
like a
nice.
little thing. I know it seems like a little thing, but I'm telling you, it takes time. It takes skill. Like if you want to segment, which I talk, we got our YouTube video about segmenting,
Yes.
right? And it takes skill and time and expertise to do that and do it well, right? So that you're communicating with people about the right things at the right time. And so we just take all that off your plate. And so that feeling I have where I'm like, let me make this video, let me upload it, I'm done, I'm gonna go about my day. That's what we give you when it comes to your email marketing. And
that's what I love about you too, Kronda, is that like you already know, like the stuff that should go, like the message that should be sent out and what time it should be sent out, right? So like that's the hard thing for most people, right? It's like okay, I know I need a sales sequence, but like all that like timing and like what you say in the email, like what do you do? Like you have to have it, but like what is it? What goes in it?
Yeah, what do I do? It's a lot. And there's no reason why you should be an expert in this, right? We're all experts in what we're experts in. There's no reason I should know like what to do with my YouTube shorts, or like that's why you have experts. That's why you have help in your corner, so that people can keep you, keep your crown straight and keep you moving in the right direction, and steer you around the speed bumps, right? So that's what I love about it. And what we discovered, so we launched this in October of 2022, and we got our first like 10 beta clients, and we're taking them through this process. And then what I discovered is, I'm like, even though you have these templates, these email templates, and even though you have all this support, I'm telling you, like, here's what's going to go in your engine. And I'm like, we're waiting on these emails. And we're like, where are the emails? And finally I was like, everybody book a call. If you don't have your emails done, book a call, right? So you have your scripting sessions. I was like, we need to see what's going on. And so I had these calls, and they weren't long calls, but I would be like, what's going on? And people were getting stuck on just different kinds of things, right? It was mindset issues, or it was perfectionism. It was like one client was like, I read what he had written so far. I'm like, this is amazing. And I'm actually his client. So I'm like, this is all accurate. I can confirm as your client, this is all accurate. Like, he's like, I wasn't sure it was the right approach. And I said, well, what was your other idea? He's like, well, I didn't have another idea. I just wasn't sure this was right. I'm like, oh, so perfectionism. Okay, cool. Let's be done with that. Move on, write the emails. Let's get these things out into the world where people can actually read them. And so it was all things like that, where it was like 15 minutes, we could just work through it and like keep them moving. And so that's what I realized. Like, I had this content boot camp where my whole thing in content boot camp was helping people show up online and learn how to create content, right? In the way that like draws people in. And I was like, okay, well, I can't build these two things at the same time. But I realized then that like, oh, CTS actually needs to include all this kind of support. We need to include, and I started asking people like, how are you going to feel supported to like keep moving on these things? Is it one-on-one? Is it community? Is it accountability? Is it co-working sessions? And it was a little bit of everything. And so we changed the offer, and we added a lot of these things from bootcamp, and we added it into the offer. So when I say maintenance mode, it's not like, oh yeah, we're going to send your emails and that's it, right? It's like, no, you can book a one-on-one. I call it the quick fix, right? You could come. I had somebody book a couple weeks ago, and she had like 4 questions, and we ran through them, boom, 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 and she was good to go. And she feels really good about like the next part of her strategy. So we get that. We're about to launch our community on Circle, because I'm done with Facebook right now. So we're about to launch our community on Circle. So we're gonna have a private client community, so you can come and like see what other people are working on and like get help from each other, because it's just a really powerful component. So there's all these things that we're working in. So what I want to say is, if you are someone who has a successful business, right? You have gone through your hustle phase, and you have built that multi-6-figure, that 7-figure business. And now you are hustling too hard, right? You got there, but you got there the hard way.
Okay. Kind of.
So if that's you right now, let me just put this link up here. Actually, let me put the link to our new services page. There we go. Go check that out.
Yes.
If that's you right now, and these people, like, I know y'all are out there because you're in my DMs and you're like, oh yeah, my whole life blew up, and my business, which was predicated on showing up and being live all the time and selling, like, everything's in the shitter now because I can't show up every day because I got to take care of these family obligations and I got to take care of my health and I got to do blah 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 blah, right? And life is not going to stop lifing. So if that's you and you would like to, either you're in the situation already, that's fine, it happens, right? Someone's got to learn the hard way. Or if you recognize that, like, oh, I'm not there now, but I need to create the system before the shit hits the fan. And I'm not trying to be alarmist. Like, we're still in a pandemic. I'm not like fear mongering. I'm just saying life is what it is. And you are not going to be able to have a peaceful business and be able to enjoy your life if you don't have, Kirsten Roldan's always talking about team, systems, and mindset. So, I am not a mindset coach, but if you need a system to keep your marketing flowing, then I got you. And you need to go and you need to check out that link and you need to go and apply for and book a call to talk about it, to say, like, what would this look like in your business? So that's what we're doing right now. And there was one more thing. I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to say about you, Jamar. Actually, I want to get your perspective because you're someone, like, you're expert at YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are your challenges on the marketing side, like on the follow-up side?
Oh, the follow-up. Let me. No, but I think so. For me, it really is the follow-up. Like, I do really good at external marketing and organic marketing, right? But that's the extent of where, like, it goes, right? So if you ain't ready to work with me, you're gonna have to find your way back to me. Okay. So that's kind of what it is now, right? So or like they'll get onto my email list and they'll get like my random like musings.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't get me wrong, like I do share some great stuff to my email list, but it's all manual, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there isn't like a really good automated like process, right? When you said welcome sequence and sales sequence, honey, my hands is
we're gonna take care of you. Okay, so I want you to just think, because I want people to really be able to understand this, like, because I see you, like, and I have to, I'm gonna just give you some public flowers right now, because I have a very complicated relationship with Instagram. Like, I like it for my dog, and for business, I was just like, it was back in the day, you couldn't make a paragraph without, like, doing some kind of like ceremony. And I was just like, this sucks. And the way that you show up on Instagram was very inspiring to me, because you're up in your stories every day. You're showing Jessie, your cat, who we saw earlier in the background. And it just seems so like relatable and so conversational. And I saw that and I was like, oh, I could do that. I could spend 10 minutes a day just being like, oh, here's what I'm up to. Here's some thoughts from like the conversation. So I have to thank you for that.
Thank you.
But then, like, doing that, showing up like that, I think for some people, like, they don't want to do it, right? That's fine. For other people, they do like doing it, but then it's like, you're not wasting that effort, but you're not getting as much as you could, right, out of that effort. And so thinking about, but I know you sell, right? Because you're showing up and you're like, ooh, we got a new client this month. Oh, so-and-so bought from the shop. So I know that you're successful and it's working. So when you think about, if you could have the kind of system, right, an automated system that just takes that and like takes the people who are like, ooh, Jamar's the shit, let me go see what's going on in his world, and did that selling for you. It's almost like a digital version of yourself, right? Yeah. You make like what do you think that would do to your sales?
Oh yeah, it would increase this. Look, it will increase. It would exponentially increase the sales, because I'm already good at like the selling part, and so I know my messaging is tight. I know I can say to get the dollar, honey. Okay. I know I can say, but yeah, the automated part of like having it like, having it on that continuous like thing without me, right? I don't have that. And so it would definitely make me more money.
Do you feel like you could double?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like you show up differently knowing like, oh, everybody who sees this message and hops into my funnel, now I have them.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel when my, like for a while I was in limbo, we blew up our whole
Mhm.
business, and now I'm like the automation person out here like, ooh, my automations are all out of date. Oh, let me fix it. And but like our bad automation is still better than like a lot of people's
Mhm.
best efforts, right? So it's
Yeah.
not that bad, but I just know that like when I know I've got this like secret weapon in my back pocket, and I know like if y'all are watching this, let me put up our new homepage actually. So if y'all are watching this, go join the email list.
Yeah.
Right? Because now it's up to date. Our website just relaunched because our website messaging was also out of date. So our website just relaunched. So now like you go and you actually see what we do, and go experience it. If you're like, oh, this sounds good, but I don't know, like we practice what we preach. So I want you to
Mhm.
go and get on the list and just go experience it. Like you're not shackled in there, right? There's an unsubscribe button in every email. But I show up and I know like, oh, if you go get digital me, like she's got my back and you're going to come back
Mhm.
and you're going to be ready.
Yeah.
So that's the feeling that you get. And that's what we build for people. So I just want to thank you so much for doing this. This has been so valuable for people. And if you're watching the replay, #replay. And if you need to get your YouTube channel right and tight, go check out Jamar. He's got some DIY stuff in the shop for you to get you
Mhm.
started. Or you can just apply to work with him. Because now that I'm in, I'm fine telling everybody. I'm a basic bitch. Okay. I'll be like, let me get in first.
Right,
And
you
then
said, hold on. You said, no, 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 no. Let me get in first.
and then
Let
I will go
me.
shout you out. So yeah, appreciate you so much. Appreciate all y'all watching this, whether it's live or replay. And we'll both see you on the internet. And watch out for Jamar because we're gonna get him all fixed up and he's gonna get his
Yes,
annoyed.
yes.
All right, y'all. Take care.